The hardest part of building a dream isn't failure, bro. It isn't rejection. It isn't being broke. The hardest part is looking at yourself in the mirror after you've broken another promise to yourself, after you've let yourself down time after time after time, and you can't bear that pain anymore, right? You can't bear the pain of failure, but that doesn't mean stop. A lot of times that's what people do. They stop and they feel like they're a failure because of that. But when you get back up and you continue becoming, you still give yourself a chance at arriving to your dream. Because the hardest part of chasing your dream, it ain't failing, bro. It's a fleeting feeling and it's gonna pass. Just like excitement, just like all the feelings, they're gonna pass. It's just that moment. We make such a big deal out of that moment and what that means about us, where we're going in life. And it's reinforcing painful beliefs, limiting beliefs that we have about ourselves. But a lot of times the biggest reason too that we let ourselves down, or the pain that comes with letting ourselves down, is a disappointment. We're used to letting ourselves down. And maybe you come from addiction. Maybe you come from not being the star child or the kid that your parents wanted you to be growing up. Like maybe there's a part of you, a certain identity that you have about you disappointing yourself, right? About always letting yourself down. It's just who I am. And it's BS, bro. It's BS, not even who you are. A lot of the entrepreneurs that follow me, they get upset because they're not posting the content, right? They're getting in their own way. They're inconsistent. Maybe they're not doing it right. But in all reality, it's like, bro, things are going to happen. Like, it's okay, bro. Things are going to happen. And there's going to be setbacks, and there's going to be disappointments, and there's going to be failures. But it doesn't mean that you are all those things, right? It doesn't mean that you're a disappointment. It doesn't mean that you're a failure. It doesn't mean that you're a loser. Whatever it may be, it has nothing to do with that. This is the entrepreneur process. It comes with all this pain, but that's what takes you to where you want to be, right? Because you utilize that pain, you make it serve you. It's a good thing because you'll do whatever. Once you hit a pain threshold, you'll do whatever to never feel that again, right? If you feel like you're a failure, it's because you deep down, you're a winner, and that's how it goes, bro. But just wanted to share this too real quick. Like, what if I told you the hardest part of chasing your dream isn't failing? It's, again, disappointing yourself. It's telling yourself that you'll post the content and not doing it. It's telling yourself you'll start the business and not doing it. It's telling yourself you'll stop the habit and falling back into it again, right? Like that's what hurts, man. Nobody talks about the pain of becoming the person you don't want to be while trying to become the person you're meant to be, right? It's like, this is a song called Contradictions by, what's this one group, this rap group, Contra Costa, something like that. And the whole song is about them battling themselves, right? And having these, like, they want everything to change, yet everything to stay the same. And everybody deals with that, bro, right? Like, I can't tell you how many moments it's like we want things to be different, but yeah, we keep doing the same shit, right? We keep doing the same habits. We go back to the same stuff and we want a different result. How does that work, bro? Right? How does that, when I would go on my freaking alcohol binges and lie to myself that it's all right. It's just every now and then that I do this. Like, but I wanted to do what I'm doing now. It's like, it's crazy, man. Like, I wanted, you want a new result, but you keep doing the same thing, right? And that's what hurts, because after the habit is over, like after that cycle has passed, right? It's like it's just you sitting with yourself, feeling the pain of what you've done to yourself. And man, does that hurt, right? Again, you wishing you were someone, but in that moment, you're still that old version of you. You're still that part of you that you tried to do everything to run away from, or to escape from, to change from, right? It's crazy how that goes, bro. But a lot of entrepreneurs, they don't talk about this, man. Like, a lot of people, they don't talk about the real freaking pain of facing the old you, in many ways, but also most entrepreneurs expect rejection, right? They expect setbacks. What they don't expect is how much it hurts when they're the one letting themselves down, right? Because it really is everything's happening external. Like, it's just you, bro. It's just you, like, in the meaning that you're giving it to everything that's going on. But, or like when you miss opportunities, or you're procrastinating, or, you're falling back into your old habits, or losing momentum, all those things, man, it's painful. It's painful when you realize that you're not where you want to be. And I get that, right? It's painful to see yourself slip back into old habits, into old ways that you thought you already had taken care of, right? And when you have a failed launch, or, you give it everything and you're all in, but it doesn't work out the way that you wanted it to, or it's taken a lot longer than you thought it would. Like, it's not always the pain of failing as well that hurts more, but I believe it's the pain of knowing that you were capable of more, right? That you could have done more while you were here, right? That right now who you are isn't matching who you know you can be, right? That you're not living up to your full potential. And that's the thing, bro. Like, facing yourself and what you've become and where you are is a hard conversation that has to be had, right? And that's the cool thing about mentors and coaches too, because they help you, man. They help you see where you can't, and it gets you to. It's like they give you permission to be honest with yourself, right? I can't tell you how many coaches and mentors have helped me with just seeing my own truth, right? They're just mirrors, bro. Like, and helping you find a different perspective too, because there's some things we can't see, and it's easier, so much easier seeing it sometimes from the outside in, right? But that's the thing, bro. Like, when it comes down to change, right? Like, the greatest battle for me, it wasn't between me and the world, right? And, the missed opportunities, the time that I got used or taken advantage of, or, I could have easily played victim. It was between me and the version of me that kept getting in my own way every time. That's who you're angry at. That's who you have resentment towards, right? That's where the shame, the guilt lies, because, there was a time where I had so much anger at myself for burning out my adrenal glands. And I went on a 3-day water fast, and all I was drinking was black coffee. But afterwards, and at the time, I replaced alcohol with pre-workout, right? And it helped me at that time. But I ended up taking 2 big scoops of pre-workout after the 3-day fast, and my body was still in a very sensitive state. And after a couple days of doing that, again, after the fast, my body began to shut down. I began to feel so heavy, and like my eyes began to feel so heavy and fatigued, and it felt like life was just draining out of me. And I ended up going to the doctor, and I was told, yo, chill out on the coffee, bro, and the pre-workouts. And I realized, it was adrenal fatigue, or it was CNS burnout. But for years, I was upset. I was angry at myself without even really like allowing myself to feel that. I was angry at myself because of what I did to myself in that sense, right? But it's like, I didn't know. That's what helped me. I went to this ayahuasca retreat, and we worked with a plant called St. Pedro, and it really connects you to your heart. And I was sitting there looking out. It was a beautiful view, man. And I'm just like, the answer came through. Like, I didn't know. I didn't know what I was doing. And I started bursting into tears, and started the real process of forgiving myself, because, we're going to fuck up. We're going to do things that we regret. We're going to do things that, that we need to forgive ourselves for later. But it really is a human experience, man. It really is a human experience, and you're going to get in your own way. But the real question is, can you come back to who you know you are, right? To where you're going, to that version of you that you're meant to become, man. You've been holding that version, and you've seen that version of you. That's where you got to come back to, bro. There's a time also when I was in Costa Rica, and I had a shaman tell me, do you know how strong you are? And I'm like, we're talking about my alcohol addiction at that time, not too long, but before he asked me that. And for so long, bro, I was just focused on my mistakes. I was so focused on what I was doing wrong, right? The drinking, the bad decisions, the failures. just how I was a fuck up, how I wasn't where I needed to be. And I never gave myself credit for who I became, what I overcame. But in that moment, I really acknowledged my own strength and what I've done. And it completely contradicted all these beliefs that I had about myself because of the alcohol addiction. I mean, bro, some people fight the same battle for decades, right? Same, same battles, man. Some never win. And at that time, I was so focused where I wasn't that I forgot to acknowledge how far I had come. Maybe you're in the same boat, bro. Maybe you haven't given yourself the credit for all the stuff that you have done, right? A lot of entrepreneurs that I've come across that I work with that feel that they work their ass off and they still think they procrastinate. They still think they're lazy. They're making good money, but they still feel like they're nothing. They still feel like they gotta prove something, but they've got so much proof that they're not all these negative things. They have so much evidence. There's so many loopholes between, right, in those beliefs that they have about themselves that are keeping them trapped. And once you can see that, bro, once you can see the loopholes, you can see how flawed your negative limiting beliefs are. You start to see that you're not any of that, bro. You're not any of that. You know that, just like me, they would only see what they where they failed. They would never see where they've grown. You know. But I'll end today's video with this, guys. Failure is not the problem, right? Failure is destroying your dream. The meaning you're attaching to failure is not my fault. Failure isn't destroying your dream. The meaning you're attaching to failure is, because you're making it mean that you're a failure, right? You're making it mean that you're X, Y, or Z. And no, it's a process. Building that business is a process. And that's why I emphasize on healing what's in the fucking way, because that's the real issue, right? You getting out of your own way is the real issue. And this is a part of it, right? Like, bro, businesses were built off failure. Every business. Many businesses failed until many successful entrepreneurs found the right one. Listen to Napoleon Hill on one of the 16 lessons of success. He speaks on failure. He goes in deep, and he said he wouldn't be who he was because of failure. He gives a shout out to all the failures out there, because you're trying, and this is what it takes. A lot of failure, a lot of pain, a lot of bad days. You're going to fall off. Old habits are going to come back. But what are you making it mean? At the end of the day, what are you making it mean? Does it mean you're a failure? Does it mean you're not disciplined? Does it mean you're not cut out for this? You decide, bro. Or does it mean you're still learning on how to become? You're still creating. You're still putting in the right. You're learning the lessons. You decide what that means. You're watching this, man. You're meant for something more, and you fucking know. Keep getting up. Keep trying. You keep showing up, even if you need a break every now and then. Doesn't matter, bro. You come back to the thing you love, right? You go all in on the thing you love to do, on your calling, your purpose. You keep coming back to it. Don't let the dream die, bro. Don't let the real you die. If you want help, if you want support to find what is actually blocking you, right? And start to heal that, start to really make progress with it, so you can go all in on your dream, right? So you can do what you came here to freaking do. Use the description below. We can work one-on-one together. Or if you want to check out my course, Courage Unleashed, I take you through my most powerful process called the truth process. And it's going to help you do your own work, your own healing, right? Truth process, it literally helped me get through, change one of the toughest times in my life, right? And I literally walk you through it every step, right? The whole point of these videos, of everything that I'm doing, bro, is to help you finally heal what's in the way, so you can go all in on your dreams, right? Because it's up here that's stopping you, not in here. You got the heart, but you got the courage, you got the work ethic, right? You got all the necessary foundation. Build what you want to do, but it's your own limiting beliefs. It's your trauma. It's all these things that are actually stopping you. So if you want help with that, let's work one-on-one, or check out the course Courage Unleashed. I'll see you in the next video, bro.